retro or die.
Three years ago, I made a video on a game that was notorious for its reputation in the gaming industry, and how it shook up Congress and the ESRB around the world.
You must do anything to survive. Can you stop the hunt before you are taken down? Manhunt by Rockstar Games.
Since that video, I've had many requests to do a follow-up for Manhunt 2. Manhunt was a game I loved growing up as an angsty teen, and as an adult, came to understand how much of an impact the game made on the world. Rockstar Games, already being known for controversy, took a bold idea and ran with it in the most unapologetic way possible, and it came to the development and release of the first Manhunt title.
They're scum, just like you, and they're here to hunt you down and cut you up. I'll try to direct you as best I can, but other than that, you're on your own. It's up to you. Okay, are you ready? Camera, action.
Upon completing my Manhunt review, I was excited to get into the second game. But this excitement quickly faded into confusion and frustration on where Manhunt 2 ended up. And instead of shelving the game, it was passed on to a less adequate team of the Rockstar branch, and had a very rocky development. The first Manhunt game was developed by Rockstar North. That is the main studio where all the main devs work and make games. Manhunt 2's development began almost right after the release of Manhunt, but because Rockstar North was busy with Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, it was passed to Rockstar Vienna.
We did it.
In the middle of Manhunt 2's development, Rockstar Vienna was shut down, and upon researching its closure, it was very sad to find out that the employees of Rockstar Vienna were coming into work just to be greeted outside of the building by security guard and informed of the closure and sent home. Manhunt 2 was then handed off again to Rockstar London, where it was finished. Just as its predecessor, Manhunt 2 was berated once again by Congress and government officials, such as Hillary Clinton, who went as far as to write a letter to the ESRB to have the game re-rated from a mature rating to an AO rating, and in her letter she described the game as being sadistic. The biggest name to spearhead Manhunt 2 would have been Jack Thompson, a well-known anti-video game activist. Thompson up to this point had lobbied against video games, movies, and rap music, and was no stranger to Rockstar Games or Midway Games, who made Mortal Kombat. A year prior to Manhunt 2's release, Thompson tried to get Bully, another Rockstar game, banned outright.
Well, I think this is maybe the one game that ought to be banned outright. That, as you said, that's happened in the UK. I wonder if we could stay away from the ad hominem and Marcus. What you don't understand is that children are a protected class in this country. You can't sell pornography to children.
The game is unsold to children, Jack.
Of course it is.
You say this is the one game we should ban.
Jonathan, it's being sold online to children of all ages right now at Amazon.com, at BestBuy.com, and you don't know that?
So you're in favor of the Constitution, you're in favor of protecting free speech, but this is the one game that we really should ban. So, yes, I believe in free speech, except for my list.
If you remember in my Manhunt review, I spoke about the murder case in the UK, where the parents blamed Manhunt the video game for their son's murder, and how it was ruled as a drug deal gone bad, and the game had no ties to the murder. Well, that wasn't enough for the family or Thompson. He vowed to sue Rockstar Games in order to get Manhunt 2 and the upcoming Grand Theft Auto game banned. To put it simply, he didn't sue. But it didn't stop him from still attempting to get the games to fail. Then a month prior to Manhunt 2's release, it was rejected by both the Bbfc and the IFCO. both claiming that even though the game would have been confined to adults, it would have been unacceptable to the public. Then to make things worse, that same day, the ESRB would rate the game at an adult rating. A adults-only rating would mean major retail outlets would not carry the game, such as GameStop and Walmart. In addition to this, Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony issued a statement saying they would not allow AO titles on their platforms, which in turn would have meant the game would have been banned in the US.
Critics are calling it the most violent video game ever for children. And it's coming out this Halloween with plenty of controversy. The new video is called Manhunt 2, and at the state capitol, it's creating ripples over the rating system for these games.
The Entertainment Software Ratings Board says Manhunt 2 is not intended for children and points to studies showing parents are overwhelmingly satisfied with the rating system.
The most violent video game ever for children.
Scrambling to get the game re-rated, Rockstar made drastic cuts to the game to censor what had been deemed too violent or disturbing. The score system for the kills had been completely stripped from the game, and the glory kills themselves were censored to a point they were almost unseeable, with the screen blurring heavily and having a glaring red and black and white effect that made me feel like I was gonna have a stroke. With all the censoring in the game, it was finally given a mature rating and released, but somehow was still banned in numerous countries. In my next video, I will give my thoughts and review on Manhunt 2, and how the game ended up being a colossal disappointment and what inspired this video in the first place. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you on the Manhunt 2 game review and rant.
We're now being hunted through an old house where I used to live, or at least the main character did, by these rather nasty gentlemen who are combing floor by floor looking for me so that they can stick a crowbar into my skull. So I have found a handy sickle. I'm not quite sure why there was one lying around my old house, but we are going to lure them into the open and then chop them up. Would have been more effective had I actually crept up from behind, but I can still push him out the window and apply a gruesome death blow. Well, thank goodness, he's only got a crowbar.